Good morning, Year Nines. Welcome to History. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. So today's lesson, we're going to look at what were the main causes of the Second World War between 1939 and 1945. So if you're doing an activity, do look at the low stakes test on the lesson slides and do your best to complete them on the lesson slides, and then tick and correct it. And then please do the extension questions on the worksheet that I've attached to the Google Classroom for today's lesson. So the extension questions are: how much did Germany have to pay for the damage of the Second World War? So think back to last week's lesson on the Treaty of Versailles and the reparations and how much Germany had to pay for the cause and the damage of the First World War. And make sure you write that down for the first question. And then number 5, how were women able to build their reputations during World War II? Give some examples to support. So you've got 2 images there that are really helpful and useful and for you to answer that question. So really have a think about that. How were women able to contribute towards the country and build their reputations during World War II? What were women's main roles during that time, and how were they able to demonstrate and show that they can do what men can do as well? What kind of jobs did they do during World War II to build their reputations? Okay, answer that question in a full sentence, and you can use the images to help you. Okay, lovely. Moving on. So today's lesson, we're going to gain an in-depth understanding of how Hitler's aggression caused World War II, and we're also going to build an understanding of how appeasement led to the declaration of World War II, all right? So that's what we're going to be looking at in today's lesson, the main causes of World War II. So moving on. So the key word for today's lesson, the main key word is cause. It is an adjective. It's really, really important, year nines, that you know what this word means. And what does it mean? We're gonna find out very shortly. So when you are overweight or eat too much junk food, this can cause you to have really high blood pressure. So what does the word cause mean? It's a person or thing that gives rise to an action. Okay, that's what a cause is. A person or a thing or a situation that causes and gives rise to an action. So one of the main causes of World War II was Hitler's and Germany's anger towards the Treaty of Versailles. Give your own sentence using the word cause. A thing that gives rise to an action. A thing that influences an action or influencing something to happen, okay? So for example, Hitler's and Germany's anger, that influenced World War II, okay? Because Hitler and Germany were really angry towards the Treaty of Versailles, that caused World War II. That gave rise to World War II. Alright, moving on. So your next task is you're going to read the information sheet on what were the main causes of the Second World War, which I've attached to Google Classroom. I want you then to read that really independently, really well, and answer all the questions that is also on the sheet and also on the reading sheet. And that's attached in full sentences. If you finish that, you're more than welcome to the extension question. So in your opinion, what were the most important causes of World War II and why? There are loads of different causes of World War II, and you are going to make a decision on what you think led, what was the most important reason that led to World War II, giving rise to an action. What really caused World War II? What actions, what things happened that led to World War II, that gave rise to World War II and the action of it? Okay, Hitler. Okay, appeasement, which you're going to look at in the reading, and loads of different reasons, loads of different causes. All right, moving on. So, explain the causes of World War II. Second World War. That is your exam question for today's lesson. It's a 2 PEAL paragraph response, an 8 marker, 2 PEALs. All right. So 2 paragraphs. What you should consider in answering these questions. So right here we've got loads of causes of World War II. So you've got the Treaty of Versailles. So the Treaty of Versailles was signed by Britain, Germany, and USA, and they declared that Germany was to blame for the war, And in response to the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, that document, Germany were weakened by it. They had to pay billions in reparations in money for the damage of the war. A lot of their military had been removed and taken away from them. Land that they once owned was taken away from them. So this weakened Germany a lot. And the fact that they were also blamed for the damage and the cause of the war when there were other countries involved during World War One really made Hitler, really made Germany really angry, which inevitably caused and led to the Second World War. You got appeasement, so Britain and France's weak foreign policy, which led to Second World War. You've got Japan's actions. So what did Japan do in countries like China at the time that led to the war? And also Hitler's invasions of other countries to claim back the land that he once lost, and also to show hatred and anger towards the Treaty of Versailles and towards the Allies, Britain, Germany, and France. Britain, America, and France. And then you've got militarism, so Germany in particular developing and building their military before World War II, which led to the Second World War. So on the board is a model PEAL paragraph that I have written that I would love for you to read for yourself to get an idea of how to answer that question. Point, example, analysis, and link at the end, please. Okay? 2 PEAL paragraphs. Really think about what you've read in the reading and make sure you've answered that question in the structure that we expect you to write it in. If you have any questions or concerns, do email me during the day. I'm happy to help. The work that is going to be posted in the Google Classroom today, it's the due date is for the Friday. The due date is for Friday the 15th of January. So please make sure that you complete that work before then and submit it to me via email or submit it on the Google Classroom, please. All right, so just to ensure that you're checking for understanding from home, and I'm also checking from understanding from home as well, because you'll be submitting your work to me. It's really important that you answer these questions as well on the worksheet as part of the big check. So what was appeasement? Why did Hitler and Germany hate the Treaty of Versailles? What does a cause mean, which we've looked at? Why did the US declare war with Japan? And why did Hitler build his military? What did this lead to him doing as a result of him building his military, building his army, building his nation, his armed forces, his soldiers, his aircrafts, etc., etc. Okay? So that's the end of the lesson today. I hope you've really enjoyed the lesson. Please do read the reading that I have attached to the Google Classroom. Please do answer the questions on the worksheet that I've attached to the Google Classroom today. And I need you completing that work. No excuses. Please complete it. We'll be doing a checklist where the teachers will be logging which students have completed their work, which students haven't. So you need to make sure that you've completed it. If not, then you will be contacted, and your parents will be contacted for not completing work from that lesson or from that that Google Classroom lesson. So you need to make sure all the work that you are given by all your teachers, including myself, is submitted by the deadline, so that you're doing your work from home, you're learning, making the progress you need in history, doing well. Have a lovely day, stay safe. Look forward to seeing you when we come back into the academy. And please do make sure that you're working from home, being independent, doing your best. And please feel free to email me if you have any concerns or questions in regards to the work. Have a lovely day, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.